Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, the 7th of August, 2022. And now that I've, excuse me, been speaking about flat Earth, flat holographic Earth, or the possibility of it being that and definitely not a globe, I'm getting so much heat. And it's surprising too. Well, it's not surprising. Like, I understand where people are coming from with their reservations, but some people specifically that I'm reaching out to try to give some arguments on, they're completely shutting it down, and it's intellectual bullies, right? And so this is the frustrating thing, like in my field, like throughout my life, right? It's very, alpha male dominated, and so it's not even just like the physical like alpha males, like the strong, like aggressive types, from being in the infantry and like the security industry and all this other stuff, but also the intellectual bullies too, right? Because I was an officer, and we constantly do and did training and reading and courses that to develop like our strategy and operational planning skills and things like that, right? And when people think that they're right about things, excuse me, and like they could be very overpowering too, right? And so like even with like some family members who I love, even growing up, had these like intellectual bully types where not like meaning to or anything like that, but just like if they believed in something, or if they thought they were right about something, then there was no way anyone could possibly get in a word to even like refute or counteract any of the points that they were trying to make, um, like without being like a targeted, or attacked, right, personally and stuff. So like it's just frustrating too, because like I've tried to bring up even stuff regarding like the moon before, for like that for a couple of years, like especially like the fake moon landing stuff, but like no one wants to hear that, and that's so dismissed. But it's not even just dismissed, it's just like the eye rolls and like the walking away, or the name calling, or the yelling, or the like it's all of these things, and I don't understand it, because if I'm not coming at you in a way that's rude and I'm trying to have conversations, I don't understand why what I'm saying is just so like eliciting such a strong emotional response. Like even on my flat earth videos, like the couple of comments I get, they're like, it's like I do have some good comments, but like it's like there's trolls too, right? And it's like just all they're doing is just like, you're wrong. And I'm just like picturing these people, you know what I mean, in like their parents' basement, you know what I mean, like doing like zero like research on anything, and like how much globe earth research have they done, right? And can they even go toe to toe to me on the thousands of hours of research science, and my own experiments and my own travel and my own eyes, like doing like all this stuff? Like, can they even come close to like countering any of that stuff, right? Like, no. And do they want to have conversations with people like me? Absolutely not. No, they would rather ghost or ignore or just name call and then just character assassinate, right? So it's just frustrating. And I know I'm venting. It's just because it's something I wish that we could all just like get beyond, because even in all levels of government too right now, right? Like you're getting like more the like the aggressive alpha bully types, and that just talk over like each other, and or like name call and things like that, and they don't actually address like important like like information. But anyway, that's why I offer to work in these fields, to be of service, like not because I want to, because I don't. It sounds awful. It's just that um no one's doing a good job, and the people that we've had in for so long, they've been like these like Freemason, um whatever you want to call it, Luciferian or Rosicrucian or whatever types, that have been like part of these like occult groups, these hidden groups, for thousands of years, right? And these are the points too that people are trying to make. They're like, oh, Aristotle, like he like he discusses globe earth, and so does Pythagoras and Pythagoras, and I'm just like, oh my god, like they were Freemasons. Like they even admit it, right? And like even in their time it was admitted, and even in any of the ancient drawings and sculptures and stuff like that of these people, it's like they have like the signs that they're doing, and like the Freemason yeah, the signs and symbols, and like there's so many accounts, and false, right? And so even in their during their time, so many other people were refuting this and making very 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 strong arguments, and they were getting shut down, and or it wasn't making like the mainstream, right? Like these guys, like with these like fake, theories that they were coming up with, and these fake experiments, like fake, not real, or advanced technologies and advanced designs and whatever you want to call it, blueprints that that they rediscovered or whatever, or were able to like recreate based on like the cycle of like the different areas based on the resets, right? We go through these like different types of periods during that, right? And they know about these resets, these possible resets, whether they be natural or man-made, and they prepare for it throughout their lives. And then yeah, and when these things come, they don't warn people off. They just do things to keep us harmed, and it's really, really frustrating. So Pythagoras, Aristotle, they were not only were they Freemasons, but they were also like slaveholders and actual people that like made that more indoctrinated and more okay, like socially accepted in their time. So and Socrates was he was more like the metaphysical, philosophical type, and Aristotle being more of the materialistic. And I brought that up in other videos too. So like people that are just saying like, oh, do you know anything about Aristotle or like whatever? I know I'm being salty right now. It's just like, yeah, I just know that even this video is going to be met with just so much ignorance without even listening to the video. And people are going to try to bring up these like amazing points I think that they have that are likely already refuted by people like Eric Dubé, definitely refuted by Eric Dubé and people like him, but also like ancient scientists and philosophers and physicists and stuff like that as well. And even present day, there are cosmonauts and astronauts and scientists and so many people in the world that are saying the same things. And it's not these like flat Earth society types, these whatever you want to call it, trolls that are bought and paid for to pretend that they're flat earthers and discredit it, right? And like this is all over the place. Like there's so many different examples of this, even with political parties, where they hire people to look like they're the other person's, like they're affiliated with the other parties, and then they do weird bad things, or like, you know, make a mockery of things, and or there's scandals or whatever. And it's by design. Even the Freedom Convoy, like I was saying too, like even before it came here, right? Like that I was bought for and paid for by the same people that plan and organize the protests in the US and all over the world, and funded by them too. So you'd be surprised how much they, like anything that causes division or that's leaked to the mainstream media, this is all by design. There's no mistakes for any of that stuff, right? Okay, so but yeah, like all these people admitting about the flat earth and that we've never passed the Van Allen belt, which is like this radiation belt or whatever you want to call it, that's like above us. And so like when you hear this by astronauts and stuff like that, and then I have these like basement dwellers that haven't even read a book in like 10 years that are telling me like, you're wrong, I get so infuriated, because this is how we stay stuck, right? Like we're getting laughed at. I wouldn't be so insistent on it now if it wasn't something that they just like they laugh at us and they think we deserve what we get, right? Even this like pandemic, they've been talking about this for so long, and they've done this in previous eras too, it like pre-wars and so many different and like so many different examples of this, and I've shared this on my social media, and I've provided links to where you can also get like more of like the official data, and it's by design, right? Like the and they laugh about it too. They watch this like a 99.9% survival rate, and people are gonna risk their lives, you know what I mean, and their children for that, and so anyone that wants to say that this is like that I'm making this up, you know what I mean, after the case, I said that even before the vaccines came out, because of my work with the methylquin trials, the anti-malarial drugs that were pushed on soldiers, and for extended periods of time for zero reason, and then they had like the worst side effects, and they were also banned in other countries before even coming here, and then they were used on us, right? So so the first responder types, the healthy like people of service that like give up their lives to sign the dotted line, whether it be cops or firefighters or EMT or nurses or doctors or whatever, we shouldn't be lying to them, and our military, and we should be setting them up for success, right? And so there's so many cases too about like these mass vaccinations too before we've gone on deployments, so like all over the world, so many different soldiers too, and becoming chronically ill or very ill for weeks at a time, and this is vaccine injuries, right? And it's again like it's for money, and they don't care, and so it's really frustrating. Even Perry and Cook, like these like admirals, you know what I mean, with the military, these people were like groomed for these positions. They were Masons as well. There's pictures with them as well, and all these accounts of them like with the hidden symbology, and oh yeah, and there's lists too, by the way. So it's not, I'm not making this up. Like you can actually go in the archives anywhere you want, get off Google, or maybe even on Google too, but like you could like literally look at the list, or even buy books, old books, because like in different states too, like you can get access to it. And I've shared this too, like where I've given lists of Freemasons in like all over the US in like the early 1900s, and like where they were, what businesses they owned, and things like that. And it's education systems, it's oil, it's pharma, it's government, it's banks, it's these people, right? And so this is what I mean when they like go to different areas and they hide and they prepare and they plan and stuff like that. And then once things are wiped out again, they have their own algorithms, like their own pre-slated like game plan or whatever you want to call it, for the areas that they are going to like reclaim, or whatever you want to reclaim, or however you want to call it. That, yeah, with Perry and Cook, they didn't go to the North Pole. That was a lie, and there's so many accounts of it. And then they even went on trial for this too, and it was debunked. All their claims were debunked, right? So like people don't hear about this stuff. And the Inuit people that they were with as well, like they also testified and admitted as well that they didn't travel the way they said they were traveling, didn't go where they said they were, the distances that they said, all of this stuff as well. And so, so there's a reason for that. Like, it's just so frustrating. So I'm just looking at a couple notes. We should really look at these guys too. By the way, not even good guys. And one guy, he was married, and then like left his wife and child, who died for like 20 something years, and was I would say dating, but it's not dating when she's a child. But he had children with a 14-year-old, claimed that she was 14, but 2 kids. And so like on his adventures to the north, northern Canada, Eureka and Ellesmere Island areas, where I would like to go, I'd be interested in going. But yeah, like he was out exploiting little children. And so this is what a lot of them were doing as well, right? And that's what they still do till this day, and they don't care. This is why, like, when you're groomed for these roles, and like you've been indoctrinated like since birth, and your parents and your parents' parents, whatever, like it's just like the brainwashing is just very, very strong. Buzz Aldrin has also openly admitted that that he didn't go. When people have asked him, he's punched them in the face. And again, he's a fake actor. And Richard Dawkins, Freemason as well, Charles Darwin, the theory of evolution. I would love to explain this with people that say that I'm an idiot, I'm wrong. You know, I would love to have conversations with you about this whole like genetic editing stuff that I've looked at myself with my science background, and our own DNA genetic coding, and how it's very complex engineering designs, but it also looks like it's been manipulated with other species on Earth, and so it's not that we've evolved from them, but it's that things have been taken, I guess, and like introduced into our own genetic coding in order to make us, I guess, more effective or efficient or whatever like that on this in this environment as it is right now. Which again, even the environment that we're in has changed throughout history, and it's in a lot of old like ancient texts and stuff like that as well. So we didn't go from monkeys like and then evolve from there. We've been advanced before. Like I keep on repeating, it's in all of our design structures that we see, the ones that haven't been hidden or torn down or covered up. And yeah, even like even like large churches with like it's so obvious with like the organs and like the sounds and the frequencies and the vibrations that are in the designs, and how even under the pews, sorry, oh my goodness, there's like ventilation systems that are possibly put in with it, or like even like maybe after it, because like they weren't factoring in windows or toilets and stuff like that. So again, like these were not like to be like lived in, and these were like energy or power sources or frequency healing places. And oh yeah, even like the blood of Christ and the like eating his skin, which is weird, like it's all cannibalism and blood, you know, stuff. But apparently, like I've talked about this before in other videos too, but the Amarita mushrooms, like yeah, some psilocybin mushrooms, like of varying sorts all over the world, like these were used in these places. So they would take them, and then they would have these like healing experiences, like with these like sounds and vibrations and stuff like that. And yeah, so let's get back to that. That sounds a lot more fun than what's going on now, with all the weird Satanist stuff that's covered up. Even the Pope, like he's like even shown like doing like the hidden symbology stuff of the Freemason satanic stuff. And oh my goodness, and like the cause of so much death in the world and suffering and division is the that again. Like come on, people. Yeah, like even these people like lying about like climbs that they've done to like different mountaintops and stuff like that. They can't lie as much anymore, but they definitely get a lot more help and assistance in order to like get their fame or their accolades and things like that too. So gravity is not real, okay? And so like this, like they were only using that to try to justify Pythagoreans, like the Pythagoras' globe Earth model as a Freemason, like, and so there's just too many like there's just too many issues with it, like where like we're not impacted by it, but the world is, and how like bugs aren't impacted by it, like but this is like keeping us down, and but like I said before, it's about mass with or density in space. And if it's heavier than the space that it's occupying, then it's going to fall. And if it's lighter than the space that it's occupying, then it's going to rise. And that's the same thing with hot air balloons and airplanes and things like that too. And the reason why, whenever they keep on going up and up and up, they just see more flat horizon, like plane, like they don't see like any curvature or anything like that, which they're supposed to. Which is another reason why like a lot of people, once like, hot air balloons got reinvented in airplanes, like a lot of people were saying even then, like, wow, like okay, the earth is clearly flat, it's not a globe, or at least it's not a globe, because they're seeing beyond distances that they should be able to see. Oh yeah, even with the reinvention of cameras too, like people that were photographers, like they were the ones that were also saying like there's no way I should be able to be seeing these things at these distances, and so like this is where I mean where like the more advanced technology comes out and the more people are questioning things, like even fishermen saying like I shouldn't be seeing that boat or that like that city or that port, or that lighthouse, that distance. They're questioning that, like people that are looking at like turbines in the oceans or platforms in the ocean that that are engineers. Or like some people are questioning like how can I see them, and like they're all like this like the same level, even though they're like beyond the distance that I should be seeing them at. And the ones that are like further back, they're not like going beyond the curve, they're like at the same height still. And so question these things, people. And yet with gravity too, like how is it that we're able to like exist like this, and then like none of the planets or anything in the exterior be impacted by it either, or the sun, you know what I mean? Like how are we not being pulled into the sun, like all the planets and stuff like that too, with regarding this whole gravity thing. And then Einstein comes in with the theory of relativity, and then that's another freaking lie. This is what I mean when you can distract people with complicated things, where you have to use like your rational logical brain, which is really taxing, and exhausting, and it takes like a lot of skill. Then like not a lot of people are gonna go. Anyway, don't go down rabbit holes. So like yeah, Freemasons. Oh, even with satellites too, and antennas, like I was talking about before. Yes, satellites exist, but they don't exist in space. They're there as like observation or whatever you want to call it, surveillance and other things. And maybe assisting with reception too, but like it's ground-based antennas that are where we're getting our internet, our electricity, all that stuff from. And that's why like any satellites and stuff like that, they're always at a 45 or whatever you want to call it, degree angle, and that's hidden in plain sight too, and like a lot of like movies and stuff like that on social media, where like they make it very obvious like that it's like they're not pointing it at satellite, they're pointing it at ground thing. Anyway, even George Washington was a Freemason, and that is like you could find that literally anywhere you want. I found that within a second of going online, and he openly admitted it. Like so many pictures of him with like all the hand signs and stuff like that you can like cross reference yourself. Biden obviously won, Barack Obama, Bill Nye the Science Guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson. They're all proven. They've all admitted it, and they all have done like those like the weird like the signs that they do. You know what I mean? And it's misleading, and it's unfortunate, but like they have to keep on with the lies, because if they don't, then either bad things can happen to them or their families, or they'll just find other people, I guess. I don't know. It's just really frustrating. I don't know how to get out of this stuff. But I just can't like stress so many things that are debunked that people should just be looking at too. Like I'm looking at the moon, like I was looking at it last night. It looks opaque. And so it's clearly being reflected from somewhere else. It could be some kind of like a three-dimensional object or whatever you want to call it, somewhere else in the world, that's being reflected, and then doing like the whole like rotation of like the sun and the moon, like whatever. And And but clearly where I'm looking at them now, they look like reflections. And I've done the reflections like myself with like pyramids and with like other objects, and like I like looked at how different things looked, and it definitely they look two-dimensional to me, and the moon does look like it's being reflected, some kind of like an X-ray or whatever of like what this possible Earth plane is, like with like with the continents and stuff like that, because like a mirrored version of it with like possible hidden like land in the exterior perimeters. And so like not only can I see it with my own eyes, but there's also ancient maps, like older maps that are out there as well for whoever wants to look at these old maps. And like they're really detailed and well done, and it does show like a flat Earth, with even the Tropic of Capricorn and Cancer being misleading, and how this is like an old era, and now we're just entering the age of Aquarius, but where's the age of Pisces? And so like that's also 2,160 years or whatever that we just left, like we just got out of within the last year or so, and of Pisces, and like those mapping systems are all gone, and so there's a reason for that as well. The Freemasons are the ones that are also heads of like not only NASA and all these other groups, but also Google, and so they're very clearly hiding things from us. And yeah, even the moon landings, like I've said that before multiple times, that it was faked. Many people admit it, and even when astronauts are saying that we've never been to the moon, like why are we still fighting with each other? Why am I getting people that are trolling my videos and their comments are just like laughing at me when I'm sharing links, or you can find it for yourself, like these astronauts like in these like fake ass pressurized suits, where you could see Neil Armstrong like with like different gloves within different takes, like on the moon, and impossible, right? And then like you could see like ropes, like the cords they were using in certain shots, and you could see clearly that it was like that they just like speeded up the speed of the footage 2 times to make it look like they were like bouncing on the moon, and the footage that they took, you could see like heel marks and spotlights from 3 different areas, and you don't see stars because it's more impossible to fake. And they even proven too, like people were admitting that they were helping with the staging of everything, and the setup, and the assistance of this like big event that they staged. And so they're looking at staging a fake alien invasion and stuff like that too. And so at some point when we get more advanced in the capability of being able to project things more possibly on this dome or whatever it is, and so but yeah, if we could like wrap our heads around like questioning like why certain people are in certain positions, and like it's a generational thing, then we'll wonder why we're so upset with the way things are going, right? Because they're like yeah, I've already talked about the Van Allen belts. So we're looking at notes, lights, camera, action. Like even the flags moving on the moon, and then like them making excuses for it, but like it's a zero pressure environment, and then water bubbles and air bubbles being seen like in footage, and objects moving that shouldn't be moving, like in space stations and all these other fake ass places that they claim they are, but they're not, when they're being filmed in places like Nevada and Arizona, in northern Canada and the Australian outback. And there's just too much proof of this. So this money could be invested in better education systems. This money could be invested in healthcare, like better healthcare, not sick care, keeping us sick. Because again, even with these jabs, these inoculations, this is to profit a few people, and it causes us harm, and more and more stuff is coming out with this, right? And we can also see like how the media is involved in this as well, and how it's very scripted, and how if we get like on top of it, then it just like mitigates a lot of possible like bad endings. I don't know. And so if anyone has any ears with like Pierre Poilievre or Justin Trudeau or whatever, I would love to peacefully like sit down on a panel or talk with these people, and just like understand like why they think they're justified in like lying to us about all of this stuff. Because it doesn't make me think that you're making any good decisions, or could be making any good decisions for me or others, when I know like the history, and even like staging things like 9/11. And I know this sounds crazy, and Pearl Harbor, and even what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, and like even this like resistance and like and the stress that's being built up with like with the economies, like they were intentionally causing inflation and recession in areas, and yeah, all frustrating things, but I could go so much on flat Earth and like why, and or at least that it's not a globe, and there's no proof either that we've never been able to duplicate any kind of like environment, like globe with like water, on the top, and like a rotating freaking moon that's able to, like be connected to it somehow. Coriolis effect has been debunked countless times. Like that is not factored in for hot air balloons, for shooting, for any of that stuff. The oh, what do you call those pendulums? Foucault pendulum, or anyway, like that's also been proven. That's debunked. So it literally depends on like where you start it. And so if pendulums can be like if they have to be started, then that also disproves this like rotating like spinning Earth theory. And again, it has to be pushed, and so it depends on where you push it. And even these talks about how like in toilet bowls and sinks, like the water turns different ways depending on where you are. Again, that also depends on the size and the shape of the bowl and like where the water hits, and that's how they dupe us too, right? And so like when people like pour water into like a basin, like on one corner, it's gonna do this. If they pour on another corner, it's gonna do another curve. And so this is how they fake things, and or they have things being constantly in motion, and they're not telling us that it's that they're being plugged in, or that they're being like pulled by like other forces, like magnets, on either side of different things that are pulling in those ways. Anyway, so many lies. It is frustrating. I talked about the pendulum thing. I wonder what else I can kind of maybe on that note. Oh yeah, and like the planets, like as like everything is CGI that they've given us as well, and so like overlays and manipulated sci-fi, and even the creators admit this. So why are we fighting with each other? Why am I getting people calling me an idiot about this when it's like they're literally telling us these things? I don't know. I'll never understand it. In astronauts, in their visors, you could see people like taking photos and recording, not in pressurized suits or any of that stuff, or in like scuba diving suits, but like clearly not in space. And so again, just so many things debunked on that, and how and why I think that if we can address these things and see like how everyone's talking about like, oh, it's only been like everyone thinks that in the last 100 years this is when we've been like more like deceived or like misled or lied to, or since like 9/11. I'm like, bro, no, it's been literally like hundreds, if not thousands of years. And the reason why I say hundreds, if not thousands of years, because like I don't know if we're being lied to about the like the length of time that we've been like possibly in this holographic simulation or not, and if we're counting different resets, I don't know, but it just frustrated me. Even that guy, whatever his name is, Eddie Valley or whatever, that was on Joe Rogan. I have so many people that give me like his video debunking Eric Dubé, and I laugh. I'm like, he didn't debunk anything. All he did was swear the entire time. He didn't bring any science into it. He was incorrect with his paleontology, like the names that he was using. So like he doesn't know his own field. And again, like with that weird it's like, and I'm not judging looks or anything like that, but he looked clearly, visibly so unhealthy. And this is what I mean when you get beyond 300 pounds. This is where like I don't know if you'll it's about health and cognitive health. And I know I'm going to insult people by saying this, but anyway, he wasn't discrediting anything Eric Dubé was saying. He was just like making fun of him and swearing a lot. And so Eric Dubé was bringing in like a lot of like scientific facts. And sharing data from other people, right? So he wasn't just talking; he was sharing like data from like previous scientists and philosophers and astrophysicists, and then bringing on current, even cosmonauts from like from different countries that are also sharing this information to people, and what they've come up with, and even pilots saying like the same things, and so like why are people that are so ignorant and have done no research or studies on any of the stuff that they're talking about? Why are they so mean and condescending and yeah, because like that was the whole interview if you guys want to watch with Joe Rogan and this ballet guy, but then I would also urge you to then look at Eric Dubé's YouTube videos and really take a hard look at like what he's sharing, because again, it's not just on his Flatlandis book or whatever you want to call it, which was amazing. And then his 200 reasons like to debunk the globe Earth, which also was really good. And he cites older experts and then current ones as well that are actually speaking out on this. And I've said this before as well. We've had people within Canada too that were really high in government who just, were discussing this even several decades ago, and they were completely censored from work, society, whatever you want to call it. They were blacklisted, and people do get banished. But yeah, like these people like that have been like talking about like gravity and the theory of relativity and the theory of evolution, all these things during their time. So many people were infuriated trying to speak out. Like this reminds me of me now, like trying to speak out to like Justin Trudeau or like Pierre Poilievre or like Jordan Peterson or whatever, and be like, you got most of the information, but there's a lot of stuff that you're missing and not connecting. But like I don't know if I'll ever get the chance. I've just got to keep on keeping on. But I don't know if they are, again, like part of these groups too. And if so, like, yeah, like this is a really good time to like maybe come to Jesus or whatever you want to call it. Again, I'm not part of like any specific religion, so like I'm just Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but they can just like finally admit, you know what I mean, that that peace is the answer and honesty is the answer, and then and we can come up with different ways that they can I don't know, like have like different business models, but by just looking at us like animals, where they're not looking at like the human trinity. Like this is where like we're kind of damned as a human race, right? Like if we're not looking at our spirit, our soul, and factoring that into like any of our decisions, and looking at like how like freedom and peace is really and truth is more natural law than anything that they could possibly come up with as a solution to what's going on right now, then I don't know. What we resist persists. So even by trying to resist all the lies that have been told to us for so long, I find myself in an incredibly isolated environment. And yeah, because even when I find people that I like that are very, very smart and that I see, you know what I mean, like that we can talk to about like things that like that I see or understand, and how I see the world or whatever, there always seems to be like other things that like really just like I don't know, like push them away from me. Like I'm a repellent to a lot of people, right? Like based on like my vaccine status, based on like my discussion about the pandemic being staged or planned, based on me saying the same things about like the moon landings and 9/11 and all these different cases throughout the world, like during different cycles. My talks about like this flat holographic reality, talking about like space being fake, and I'm able to like articulate arguments to discuss these things that would take longer than like a 45-minute video, right? Because we've all been mass indoctrinated into believing this stuff and socialized and groomed, reinforced daily by virtue of social media that's like showing fake images like that are just like, again, like reinforcing like this this false reality. And then with like the people we talk to as well, like it's all just like I don't know, it's like it's all scripted. It's weird to me. It always has been. But like even when I was like in grade 3, I like we had public speaking competitions, and I was speaking on like racism and like the language dispute between French and English speaking people in Quebec, and then everyone else was talking about their cat or their grandmother. And so like so it's not like I'm not used to, but also I think because like I spent a lot of time in a nursing home talking to like really interesting people that, and women mostly, that like it just gave me like a really, I had a lot of female, I guess, like brave role models that were very intellectual. No, actually, no, they were not intellectuals. They were intelligent, because like they were very soft, kind, caring, beautiful souls that were creative as well and knew so much poetry and stuff like that. But, sorry. I'm thinking about Isa right now, who was a nurse in World War I and World War II from Scotland, Ireland area, and came to Canada, and yeah, lived to be almost 100 years old, like within weeks of her birthday. And she always wanted the that certificate for the Queen, which so interesting to me. So many people I love, I've just We all have our things. Anyway, on that note, I think that I'm going to keep it at that, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful day.